Amelia Earhart Disappearance. 99% solved, claim scientists.
I'm not a writer.
Okay.
A scientist is 99% sure to have solved the mystery behind the disappearance of Amelia Earhart. A scientific study aims to shed new light on the mystery of the unfortunate aviator, the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean, and her co-pilot Fred Noonan, who disappeared on July 2, 1937, during a flight from Papua New Guinea to the Howland Island. Amelia Mary Earhart was an American aviator who went missing in the Pacific Ocean, July 2, 1937. She was famous for her piloting skills and achievements, and for attempting the first air travel around of the world on the equatorial line. A never-ending mystery? Richard Jantz, an emeritus anthropology professor at the University of Tennessee, argues that the bones discovered on the island of Nicamara, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean in 1940, were probably remains of Earhart. His research contradicts a forensic analysis of the remains made in 1941, which determined that the bones belonged to a man. The bones, which were later lost, continue to be a source of debate among scientists related to the subject.
Is the moments for those who...
Amelia Earhart standing under the nose of her Lockheed Model 10E Electra. One of the many theories states that Earhart died after landing her plane on the aforementioned island of Nicamara, where 13 human bones were found 3 years after the disappearance of the aviator. It was then that Dr. David Hoodless, director of the Central School of Medicine in Fiji, took over the forensic investigation. However, for Richard Jantz, the techniques of modern analysis may have yielded a different result in what relates to gender, because at that time forensic osteology was not yet a well-developed discipline. When Hoodless conducted his analysis, forensic osteology was not yet a well-developed discipline, he explains in a paper published in the journal Forensic Anthropology. Evaluating his methods with reference to modern data and methods suggests that they were inadequate to his task. This is particularly the case with his sexing method. Therefore, his sex assessment of the Nicamara bones cannot be assumed to be correct. In his study published in Forensic Anthropology, Jantz points out that after analyzing the methods used, it was clear that they were inadequate, particularly in relation to the sexual evaluation of bone remains and height. Hoodless used 3 criteria in his research: the relationship between the circumference of the femur and the length, the angle of the femur and the pelvis, and the subpubic angle, which is formed between 2 bones of the pelvis and is wider in women than in men. Jantz points out that the subpubic angle is the most reliable of the Hoodless criteria, but even that is subject to considerable variations, many of which were poorly understood in 1941. The scientist also compared the measurements of Dr. Hoodless with the data of another 2,776 people, and also studied the photos of Earhart and the measurements of her clothes. While many authors and researchers are convinced that that island of Nicamara may be Earhart's final resting place, another theory indicates that she met her end on Milne Atoll in the Marshall Islands.